Huntin from the Evergreen Media Network studios in Vero Beach, Florida. It's Huntin with Heather.
Hey y'all, welcome to Hunt with Heather. I am your host, Heather Hawk. This is season 2, episode 3. So when this episode actually airs, we're going to be several weeks into the season, but as of today, we are going into our second weekend of hunting season for Zone C of Florida, and I do believe in Georgia, and there's a few places all over the country, but I know for us, and I'm not going to lie, it was a bust for us this last weekend, unfortunately, but and it was hot. The mosquitoes were on point. And actually, I think one of my friends on Facebook said she lost a pint of blood. I'm pretty sure that's what she said. But that comes with the nature of living in Florida. But it was so nice to, still be back in the woods, you guys. And I'm looking forward to this weekend. So if you're new to this show, welcome. This show is dedicated to all those who love to hunt, love the outdoors, and those who want to learn more. Whether you're a seasoned hunter or a green hunter, this show is going to be packed full of information. We're going to talk deer, turkey, and everything in between. And of course, you can't forget about those stories, the stories that keep us coming back for more. So grab a seat, sit back, and let's talk hunting. Before I introduce my guest today, I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Jake Witt with State Farm. Yes, that's right, guys. It's the Jake with State Farm. If you're looking for a hometown feel of an agent, this is your guy. Jake is the type of agent that actually called me maybe about a month back and said, hey, Heather, I noticed we haven't looked over your policies recently. Let's see how we can save you some money. I don't know about you, but I'm into saving money. So if you want that type of agent, reach out to Jake Witt. You can reach out to him at 772-500-5253 or call Jake from sf.com. And of course, I got to give a shout out to the boys, Boars and Broads. Listen, if you guys love hogs and running dogs, this is going to be your jam. You got to check out their content. They share a lot of other people's content, and it's fabulous. And you've got to check out their merch, guys. Their merchandise is fabulous. And they just come out with a new shoe. Yes, guys, shoes. And it's a Hey Dude type style shoe with B&B on it. You're going to love it. Go check them out, boarsandbroads.com. All right, let's get into the show. So my guest today, I met through social media. She was actually on, I think she was at a sportsman show or some type of hunting show. And she had her book on display that she was selling. I saw it on one of the women hunting platforms, and of course, I purchased the book, but we're going to get into that later. But I want to introduce to you today, Stephanie White. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I am so excited. And as I've learned I've followed you some more, you wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, we keep pretty busy around here. That's for sure.
Yeah. And so, with you and your husband, you guys have a lot going on, but I really my first, let's get into this book because I saw this book online. I ordered it, got it in, and you guys, it's called The Hunt. And I did bring it, and don't mind, it is a little chewed up because I have a puppy and my dog actually got onto it, but I know I would go, but I read it to my granddaughters and it was fabulous. But I have to say, I read this book and it came in and I was so excited for my husband to get home. And we sat at the dinner table and I'm reading this book and I could feel, and it's a children's book, you guys, this is a children's book, but I literally felt the emotions in it. I felt like as if I was you in that stand and the practicing and everything that you talk about in this book, and it was depicted perfectly, like this perfect hunt, this fall hunt, what you've been waiting for. It was very, very well done. And so can you tell me a little bit about that book and what inspired you? I can imagine what inspired you, but what brought it to life?
Sure. So, I guess when it comes to how I started writing children's books, it really began um, in communications. My husband and I, we farm. And so I worked in radio for 4 years and did agricultural broadcasting. And I loved being able to share the story of the agriculturalist and of the farm. So following that, I began a career in with the Cattlemen's Association in Missouri, and I saw a lack of educational resources for kids learning about where their food comes from. So I began writing children's books about where your food comes from and how it's raised and the people who raise it. So that was kind of where I began writing children's books, was more agriculturally based. But after I got married, my husband and I, we decided we both wanted to be full-time on the farm with some side jobs that allowed us to still be full-time on the farm. I decided, why not branch out? I enjoy hunting. It's something that I like to do. And I was sitting in the stand one day, and I always have a notebook and paper with me. And I just began writing this story. So that's how this one was started, kind of with the same theme of the importance of conservation, experiencing the woods and the joy it brings to you as a person. And that's where I wanted to be able to base this book out of, being able to see where youth can have independence out in the woods is so important to me. Although we're all guided by a mentor of some kind when we're in our youth stages, being able to be independent as a youth is important because that's where you find your first stepping stones. So in the book, the character is actually displayed as a young hunter, and you can't tell if it's a boy or a girl because they're completely covered in camouflage. So that allows a boy or a girl hunter to see themselves as the hunter. And that's really my inspiration behind the book, was just being able to share this story and the importance of us being able to pass this tradition on to the next generation.
Very well put. I could not have, was beautiful, because that's exactly what this book does. And the pictures, the illustrator, outstanding.
Oh my, right? That's one thing. It's hard to brag about your own work and to sit here and share the words that are written, because that was what I did. But I can easily boast and share about the illustrations of the artwork. It is absolutely beautiful. Dustin Attilio, he is my illustrator, and he's currently working on my second book within the Huntin series, and it's called Off the Roost. So it's a turkey hunting book, and he is sending me pictures daily. It'll be done within this next month, but he is just phenomenal at what he does. So shout out to him. If you guys don't know who he is, check him out. You will not be disappointed. Your home will immediately be filled with the most beautiful artwork you've ever seen, because Dustin just knows what he's doing. He knows the outdoors, and he cares about family values and passing on that next generation, passing on to that next generation. And that's why I was so excited to work with him particularly.
Yeah, he does a fantastic job. I can't wait to see. Yes. I can't wait to get the turkey book. Actually, I am going to go on and get the rest of your books. How can we get your books? Because I saw where you have like the farm books and explaining, like you said, where the food comes from and who, how we get the food and everything like that. So, and then you have another really, I don't know, I just saw the one Sprout.
Yeah, so Sprout is my newest book. It was just released, and I'm still, it is so new that I'm still sending out my pre-orders. So I'm not even caught up on my pre-orders yet of fulfilling those. But Sprout is a little different. Most of my other agricultural books are based on the person who is growing the food. So showing and shining light on the farmer or the agriculturalist, and allowing people or children to see that a farmer is just a job like anybody else, and we truly care for our animals and their crops, and the food that we are raising is safe and wholesome, and we're eating the same thing you are as a farmer and a producer. Sprout is a little different in the aspect that it actually follows a kernel of corn from the time it's in a seed bag until it sprouts, and then it grows. And so you're following more the plant rather than following the person throughout their farm journey. You're following the plant throughout its life cycle. So it's a little different. It's so beautifully illustrated. It has more of that commercialized look to it. So it's a little different than some of my others, but I'm really excited about this one.
Well, I'm definitely going to put in for an order. I will wait as long as I need to. And this is great. These are great gifts for Christmas that's coming up. You know, get your children the books, you guys, your grandkids. I got it for this one for my granddaughters. They go with us. They do all of our outdoor stuff with us. But I really wanted them to see this from their eyes, what it would be like. And you definitely, I mean, it's perfect. I just, like I said, I've read it multiple times. My husband was reading it. I had it sitting on the counter. My husband was reading it again last night. So well done. And so if we want to get your books, where do we get your books at?
So my website is welcometourfarmlife.com, or you can find me on any social media, either by my name, Stephanie White. I'm pretty searchable. I don't have any blockers anywhere, so I'm always public on all my social platforms. So Stephanie White, Welcome to Our Farm Life, or the White House Farm, which is our farm name. And the White House Farm encompasses all of the other things we do, as well as the umbrella for my children's books. So you can find us there.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your farm life then. Let's talk a little bit about that. What do you guys do on your farm exactly? What all do you guys harvest and everything?
So we row crop. We have corn, which we're currently harvesting. Right now, I'm getting to skip out on work because usually I'd be driving the grain cart while my husband is combining. But we raise corn, soybeans, wheat. We raise cattle, and we do hogs, mostly show pigs. So 4-H and FFA kids purchase our pigs to show them competitively. And that kind of encompasses most of what we do on that end of the farm. We also have a management system to what we do. My husband does a lot of skid steer work. So we do on the farm for other people, work on clearing lanes, building funnels for deer, helping people create viable food systems for their deer within a food plot or feed mineral, kind of scoping out an overlooking view of what their farm looks like, whether it's 20 acres or 200 acres. We like to sit down and solve the puzzle of how deer are moving. And that's a big part of what we do. As farmers, we grow crops. And so we enjoy being able to put in a food plot, grow that, and also learn about what deer are doing on your property. We enjoy a good deer hunt, that's for certain. So we both are pretty active in the woods.
That's awesome to be able to, that's a win-win right there. You get, you hunt, but you also get to help other people, as well as yourself, but you're learning, like you said, you're going on people's properties, setting up their camps or their hunting spots for them, and all the things I'm sure you guys have learned throughout the years, and how the deer act, the time of year. And I'm sure setting it up, it's like, we talk about the funnels, setting up where you want to put a stand or, whatever, the blind or something like that. But you also got to remember where this is the way you should walk in. This is the way you should walk out, different times of days. There's all those things that people don't understand that we have to take consideration for. Do you guys do a lot of that as well?
Absolutely. We definitely consider all of those factors. We like to put in areas that kind of buffer you as you walk in and out of either the woods or where your stand is. we definitely look at that. And sometimes it's kind of a hard problem to find a solution to, but that's a part of the fun of it, you know, getting down, thinking like a deer, learning how we can implement things into our hunts or into a customer or client's hunt that really allows them to be successful in the woods. So it's something that we do as a team. So Andrew and I are definitely team players. We both enjoy doing that aspect together, but we hunt alone. So I grew up hunting. I did not hunt often with other people. My dad would take me out when I was very young, but I started as soon as I was able to hunt solo, I was hunting solo. And Andrew and I, we have different styles of hunting. So we will enjoy maybe one or two hunts of deer season together, maybe more if one of us shoot a buck early or something. I shot my bow buck pretty early last year, so I sat with him more than I normally would. But turkey season, we definitely, turkey's a team sport. Like that is a fun one to go out and hunt with somebody else. But deer hunting is my time where I can enjoy it. I know what deer I'm after, or sometimes when that surprise walks by, it's just as exciting. And we enjoy being able to do this and live this lifestyle together. We farm together, so we work with each other every day, 7 days a week. And then we also do our management together.
I love that. I love that. That's, you know, my husband and I didn't start hunting until 10 years ago. He has been an avid hunter. I mean, since, I always say since he was in diapers. You know, he grew up on ranches and that was just part of his life. So when I came into picture, I was like, hey, I was just so curious about it. And now, like, that is what we do. If our family knows, this is like, we just started started our season. Almost every weekend's planned out through December, because we do bow, black powder, and then of course general gun, and then we get a little bit of a break, and then we get ready to start for turkey. So when you said you don't hunt really together, I mean, maybe like with us, we hunt, we do have a lease, but we hunt a lot of management areas because where we're at, it's just, we're blessed with that. So why not? It's 15 minutes away. You know, we don't have a lot of land here we live on. So we go out, we'll scout out, we'll, spend that time together. We'll put up, help each other put our stands up, cameras, what have you got on yours? And it's just a nice hobby or passion, I would say, that we have together. But it's funny because I'm like, I don't like hunting with him either, though. I like to sit, I like to sit by myself, and occasionally we'll sit in the blind during turkey together. He is a great caller. I have to give him that. I mean, he's great at everything he does, but the calling, he's on point. So I will ask him to come sit with me there. But yeah, it's nice to be able to share a love and a passion for something, especially with your spouse.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So let's talk. I do want to talk about, you guys have a feed that you guys have created, correct?
Right. So we make and manufacture deer feed and mineral. So it's a feed and mineral mix. Andrew actually started creating it before we got married. So we've been married for 10 years. And he's been doing this as long as I can remember, but more or less for himself. And he did a lot of different types of molasses flocks. And I mean, he tried so many different things. A lot of research went into this and understanding the growth and the nutrients that a deer needs. And what we primarily focus on now, we have a loose mineral that we sell by itself, but we also focus mostly on the mineral and feed mix. It's a granule, and in my opinion, it's more for the idea of it mimics what a deer would naturally be browsing. So deer are browsing animals, and they don't necessarily just want to come to a giant corn pile. Sure, they might enjoy it and they might get fat off of it, but they are browsing animals. And so having something that mimics and feels a little bit more like nature and allows them to browse over it without it just being an entire pile of the exact same item, which would be corn or whatever it might be. That is kind of what we base it off of. Not let alone we have all the extra ingredients that helps with bone growth and health and keeps them coming back for more. So in Missouri, which is where I'm from, we cannot feed during season. We have to have all of our feed out a certain amount of days prior to season opening. So we are no longer feeding within our state, but you are allowed to have mineral. So our feed, where it has the feed substance and it also has mineral base in it, that mineral, which is loose, is able to stay in the ground, and those deer will come back all year round and they'll just dig at the ground and eat that dirt and mineral. And that's what they're going to come back for, because during heavy rut, those bucks, they want two things: to be able to keep going and to have water. And so that extra mineral, when they're starting to lack, is important for them, especially if they're not eating a lot. So grabbing a bite of mineral out of the dirt and having a good place to drink, that's essential for a rutting buck. And that's how we base our feed off of. So that's kind of what we do. We retail, and we also, if anybody ever wants to be a wholesale, all you have to do is have a barn or a garage. And we work a lot with not only small bow shops, but individuals who are looking to just make a little bit of extra income, and you buy it in bulk and you sell it as is.
So to be able to purchase that, though, do you have to be in Missouri? And not purchase, but because you have to ship it, you can ship it wherever?
Yep, we can ship wherever. As long as, as long as we can find a viable way to do shipping. Shipping's complicated often, but we usually find a way around that. And sometimes we'll have people pull up with a flatbed and they'll take, pallets of feed with them to wherever they're going. So, we're good to go wherever it needs to. If we can't find a shipper for you, you can pick it up yourself or whatever. We have people travel from all over picking up. So
how can if someone's listening to the show or watching it, how can they get a hold of this feed?
Directly through us, the same way. So just reach out to Stephanie White through social. We don't really keep a running website because we couldn't keep up with the demand. So it's all reach out to us personally. We set up an account, and that's how we work. So White House Outdoors, White House Farms, or that's if you find us on TikTok, it's White House Farms. Instagram's White House Farms. Otherwise, it's White House Outdoors. Stephanie White is how you would reach out to us for deer feed and mineral.
Fantastic. Well, I've learned today just about the minerals and how I know I love this. This is what I like. This is what this show's about, you guys. Just learning and growing. We're all hunters, or most of us that listen, or maybe some are new or don't, but that's what it's about, right? We don't know it all. So we always learn something new.
Something new every day.
Absolutely. So we're going to have to wrap up the show, but thank you so much for coming on. I hope to have you back on. And I want to thank my sponsors again, Jake Witt with State Farm, Boars and Broads. I want to thank all my followers and listeners. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, any of the podcast channels. You can find us on or find me on there. I love y'all. Stephanie, thanks again. You guys go get outdoors.